Today on Conversations Aloud, we're discussing Iran following the deadly protests and riots that occurred starting on the 28th of December 2025. We're joined by Parisa Navabi, who is an Iranian media and communication specialist working with large volumes of Iranian media content and narratives. Her work includes producing analytical media reports for major organizations, giving her a clear understanding of how narratives are shaped, amplified, or deliberately silenced. Welcome to the show, Parisa.
Hello to everyone and to my brave compatriots inside Iran. And I should mention that it wasn't a riot; it was uprising and a revolution going on the ground in Iran. And I wanted to send my condolences to my compatriots inside Iran and tell them that we are with you and we will be your voice, your true voice to the world.
Yeah, there's a lot of hardships now that the Iranian people are facing and have been facing for decades, really. I was hoping to have an honest conversation today with you. Most independent reports have noted that there have been at least 5,000 deaths, with more injured. Have you been able to talk to the people on the ground since the internet has been shut? What are they saying from who you've spoken to?
Yes, as we did, the number 5,000 is the confirmed people who their family confirmed and sent their or parents sent their photos and a story to the abroad because the internet is totally shut down. But the estimated death toll is like at least 12,000 or 16,000 or even 44,000 people dead, and at least 8,000 people blinded, and many thousands injured and arrested. Is everyone knows someone, family member or friends or colleagues that are have been killed. Everything is shut down, the satellites, the internet, and they don't let people to send their videos and images as a documented.
Yeah, there's a lot of confusion about what's happened there for sure, and the fact that there's no internet means that we're unable to really understand what is happening. However, and you know, I'm sure that the majority of the people that unfortunately have been killed by the Iranian government. At the same time, the issue, I think, for a lot of people in the West is that they're seeing what other agencies are also saying while this is happening. You have Mossad and former U.S. officials noting that they are on the ground among the crowd. This is like officially from the U.S. officials, officially from the Israeli intelligence, noting that they're on the ground. So we know that there is foreign involvement, which seems to have changed the protests from what it started on the 28th of December, which seems to be because of the currency going down and the economic hardship that the people are facing. If foreign intelligence are saying that they're shaping and they're funding and then they're arming factions, is this now still a popular uprising, or has it become a proxy conflict? What do you say to that?
First of all, I haven't found any official announcement that they are involved. Not Mossad, not America. This is the regime's propaganda. It is their agenda. It is very dangerous narrative because with this narrative that people are amplified, they are legitimize the regime to mass murder and execute people on the ground. Look, on 100 videos that I watched these 2 days, that a little bit internet was, the people are connected with VPN for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, and they send videos some videos. I haven't seen any armed people. I can send you the videos, and people are peacefully just walking and chanting their slogans like "Long live the king," "Down with the regime," "Down with the Islamic Republic," and everything. And then they shoot at them. And I'm working on daily basis with the news, and every day. These latest seven years, I've been always working on the news. What they do always, there are 1,000 news out there. They publish a news, they deny it within hours or a day, and then they approve the first news that they publish.
She's referring to the previous video that I shared, where there were videos of people shooting at, we don't know who, but they didn't seem to be government officials. It looked like civilians shooting, and the agency that was showcasing this is called FARS.
Do you remember the helicopter crash of the latest president, Raisi? And they said that the helicopter is safe, it is landed, crashed, and they were dead actually. But they want to propagate that they are safe and everything is okay. So, and another example was the crash down the civilian airplane, passenger airplane. Do you remember in 2020? They shoot down airplane with the missiles. They denied it for 3 days. They mocked, they laughed at our faces that you are some paranoid people, that you're lying about. Then they confessed under international pressure, like President Trump.
I wouldn't deny that the the Iranian government does lie and does do propaganda for sure. But because when the videos that I showed, it showed that there were armed people with weapons on the streets shooting. Are you saying that that's not real, or what are you saying regarding those videos specifically?
Something that the regime did is, like, we don't have on the ground in Iran, we don't have just one military army. We have IRGC, that they don't have Iran's name in it. See, the Basij are the volunteer people, and they don't have uniform. There are many people with personal clothing on the ground. Be sure about that. Maybe they have some rocks to just defend themselves, but they didn't even have rocks as well. So they were unarmed. Be sure about that. I will send you thousands of videos that they are armed. They are taking the bodies together. You see, when you see some other countries, when they have, I don't know, a shooting and everything, they have the people who are helping, they carrying some weapon. But when they are carrying the bodies and wounded, they don't have anything with them.
Yeah, it's difficult, right? It's difficult for anyone outside of Iran to look at those videos and not suspect that there has been armed people shooting back, because we don't know what's going on. And then you mentioned there that, you know, you didn't see any Mossad or U.S. officials say anything regarding this. I've seen it on the Israeli newspapers, and they're saying that Mossad has indicated that they are on the ground. If you go to the Jerusalem Post, you will see those things. So for people that are outside Iran, they're seeing this and they're saying, yeah, there seems to be some infiltration. There seems to be some sabotage of those peaceful protests. And whether that's true or not, the government is going to use this, of course. Whether it's true, they're going to use this. Whether it's not true, they're going to use that narrative to do what they need to do. So it's very difficult to know, you know, the truth on those sides. Now, a lot of people in Iran do want change in government. Now, some people don't want foreign governments to bomb Iran, while others want foreign intervention. I think you are in the latter camp. Could you just explain why foreign intervention is, you think, the right path?
Because we cannot overthrow them without weapons. They kill as they can, and they don't want. They have money.
So just on that, during the 12-day war last summer, we knew that, I mean, Israel did infiltrate and carry out attacks within Iran. So we have precedents in terms of this did happen, that they were on the ground and they were assisting in attacking the Iranian government. So that did happen.
Look, there is a commitment, international commitment, that when it's called R2P, responsibility to protect. It's in UN commitment, and when a state cannot protect their citizens, it is the responsibility of the international, actually, union and the other countries to intervene and protect the lives and the everything of the people on the ground, of the citizens. We say that if you want to this regime goes away, and if you want to the terrorism ends, if you want free Palestine, if you want free Lebanon, if you want free Yemen, if you want everything and end of the terrorism, just remove them from Iran. So it's just the alliance of the benefits of ours. And
Do you think Israel and America care about Iranians?
I don't know. They have their benefits. I'm just saying that they are alliance of the benefits.
I'll tell you what I think about the situation, because I heard the same thing about Iraq. Remove Saddam, who was a brutal dictator, who killed his people, who chemically gassed his people and Iranians. Remove him and everything will fall into place. Democracy will come. And what ended up happening is 1 million people died because of that war in Iraq. There was a civil war that occurred. And ISIS got created, which destroyed the country, not just in terms of people, but just in terms of our, like, the culture, the artifacts, the history was all destroyed because ISIS considered it un-Islamic. And we have example after example after example of American and Israeli interference in Iraq, in Syria. Syria doesn't exist anymore. Syria unfortunately, and it's and people will not like what I'm saying, is Syria will never exist anymore. It'll be a disintegrated country where the Kurds will have a part, Turkey has a part, Israel has a part, and the Jolani, the Islamic faction, has a part. And I feel like US and Israel is a weak Iran, a disintegrated Iran, because they see Iran as a threat. It's a powerful nation. It has one of the smartest people that I know, and they want it weak. They want it disintegrated. They want a faction for the Kurds, a faction for, different parts ruled by different people. That's the worry that I think a lot of people outside Iran think, and a lot of Iranians also fear, that they will weaken Iran and disintegrate it. But it's the same situation, every interference in the Middle East. You've got Afghanistan, after 20 years, the Taliban is back in charge. Syria gone, Libya destroyed, Yemen destroyed. It's one after Somalia destroyed, one after the other. It's kind of like a domino thing, and the last one is the strongest one right now is Iran, and it's the last one that I feel they are trying to break, and that's, I think, the plan, because Iran is a big country with 90 million people, more than 90 million people. Iraq was just 24 million at the time, and Iran's 3 times the size of 3.7 times actually the size of Iraq. It's a big country with very difficult terrain. You've got a lot of mountains. You can hide out. That's the issue that was in Afghanistan. Mountains, very hard for people to kind of go in and kind of secure areas. It's very, very challenging. And the issue that a lot of people kind of fall into, I think, is that they think because the situation is so bad, it cannot get worse. But I've seen it time and time get much, much worse. And that's the unfortunate thing, is that the people that will suffer, I think, from this is the Iranian people. Even though they've suffered so much already, they will actually, I think, end up suffering more because of this.
I see that, but the regime itself is not Iranian, and they confessed it many times. Like I mentioned before that IRGC, it is Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. It doesn't have Iran.
What do you mean by they're not Iranian?
Many of them, many of the leaders, some of them were born in Iran, but some of them not. Like they are Iraqis, and somehow I will send you the documents as well. And some of them, their parents are not Iranis. They are born in like Iraq again. Not Iraq. I don't have any problem with people of Iraq and everything. I love them. The Babylon and everything was from there. So, but they are not Iranian. And Khomeini, the first leader of the revolution, Islamic Revolution, he confessed that we don't want nationalism. We want ummah. It says that there is no Persian civilization in Iran anymore, and their leader is Arab, Khamenei, I mean, and and there is no what do you think that people of Iran think, that when someone is saying that there is no Persian civilization in Iran and no one from state say anything, they don't disagree, and and they send much more money to that person. So do you want me to read it, or
From Nasrallah, is that you're saying?
yes?
Yeah,
Yes.
please. Okay.
But in Iran today, there is no such thing as Persianization or Persian civilization. What exists in Iran is Islamic civilization. What exists in Iran is the religion of Muhammad, Arab, Hashemi, Makki, Qurayshi, Tuhami, Mudari, referring to the Arab ancestors of the Prophet of Islam. And the founder of Islamic Republic was an Arab father and a son of the Prophet of God Muhammad. May God's peace and blessing be upon him and his family. Today, the leader in the Islamic Republic is Imam Sayyid Khamenei Qureshi Hashemi, the son of the Prophet of God and the son of Ali ibn Abi Talib and Fatima Zahra, who were Arabs.
So yeah, it's just for the audience. Hassan Nasrallah was the leader of Hezbollah who was killed, and he's Lebanese. So I guess for a lot of Muslims, religion goes above country, and that's across, I think, many places. But I feel like we're seeing now, even among religious Iranians, there is going back to patriotism of country and kind of being proud to be Iranian. The hardship that the Iranians are going through, obviously the Iranian regime has killed people, is considered, I mean, in many metrics, brutal. But a lot of people will argue that the bigger hardship is because of the economic sanctions that Americans have put. Now, for people that don't know, America has put economic sanctions since 1979 on Iran, on and off. That is more than 40 years of economic sanctions. And economic sanctions, for those that don't know, means that Iran cannot leverage its resources, which it has so many resources from oil to other things, to export at the capacity that it can, while at the same time it cannot import many goods that any country needs from other countries to develop and grow. These economic sanctions have been applied to many other countries, and one famous one is Iraq, whereby there was a famous video interview with Albright, which is former Secretary of State in the 1990s, where a reporter asked her, nearly 500,000 children died because of those sanctions. Is it worth it? And she said, yes, it's worth it. So the sanctions are devastating on the economy, but not just the economy, on the people. It kills people, that those sanctions. Do you see it also that America's sanctions have caused destruction on the country and on its people?
Well, yes, it did actually on the people more
Just
mostly.
on before you say, um, the sanctions doesn't hurt the government that much. It hurts the people, because the government can live above the sanctions. It can access things that the normal people cannot access. So really, it hurts the people.
Yes, they gain benefits of the sanctions. The republic, the government, and the regime didn't want these sanctions go away. So they sell everything more expensive. So they gain financially they get benefits. So they don't want sanctions go away at all. They lie all the time about to the international agencies, and they don't put away the sanctions because they always lie. They don't believe it. We believe them because whenever they wanted to appease with the regime, they again did something that showed that they've lied. So um, what actually happened that they love the sanctions.
I don't know. I don't know, Parisa, because the sanctions cause a lot of issues for the people, and it causes them to obviously hate the government, hate the situation they're in, and pushes people to try to find a new way of living, a new government. So I see it as a risk for the Iranian government, because if the people are suffering, there's going to be a point where like taking to the streets is worth the risk, and therefore as a government they wouldn't want to have that line be crossed, because it's a threat to the Iranian government.
Yes, it is, but they don't care actually. They have weapons on billions of. Look what happens to in these 47 days. Many sanctions, many protests, many people died. We've tried everything to speak with the regime as civilians, but every week the, the retired people actually always gather every week. They don't listen. They don't listen to the people that they are chanting and say, God, help us, we are dying. They don't do it. Do you think that they don't know that this starvation and everything, and the people are chanting and everything goes to the boiling point? They know, but they don't want to. They don't care. They don't like. I have the power. I'm blind. I'm deaf. I do not want to listen to you. And they don't listen at all, because the money is that huge that they are gained from their sanctions, because it's not just one person or one family that they are they are fighting to each other as well. They have the money, and not inside the country only. The outsiders like China, like some cartels, even in Europe, in southern countries, Arab countries, there are cartels that they gain benefits from these sanctions. They don't let these sanctions go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people that benefit from the sanctions because they allow them to operate in particular ways and get commissions that they wouldn't have otherwise got. Um, but the sanctions were removed in 2016 because of the agreements that were done, that Iran did with the U.S. And they agreed to all the things that America wanted. And suddenly Trump comes in and says, we're canceling that agreement. We're putting sanctions back on. And it just makes every other country unable to trade with Iran, or the trade with Iran becomes very, very expensive, because there's a lot of risk with trading with a sanctioned country. So it's challenging, because a lot of people do say that, yeah, sure, there are parties that would want these sanctions to continue, but it's a threat to the government, and it always leads to a revolution that happens. That's what the sanctions do. They lead to a revolution, and they're applied so that it leads to a revolution. And who's applying them? It's the West.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Look, we voted for Hassan Rouhani to have the agreement to continue, and but they started building some nuclear weapons, and America found out, and we know that they did it. And look, they have just some internet and some weapons, and what they do to us. Just imagine that they have this bottom of nuclear weapon under their hand, under the fingers. They will kill everyone. They just have an internet. Look what they're doing. We cannot. People are about the boiling point that you're talking about. They are businesses that are dying inside the country because the blackout of the internet. So don't you think that the government care about people are going to be more angry and angrier and angrier? Is it America or Israel that doing the internet shutdown? No, it is the government itself. It is the regime itself.
Issue is that when we looked at the concessions that Iranians gave to the Americans regarding the nuclear, it seemed like they pretty much gave everything except stopping nuclear capabilities, which is not an illegal thing, by the way, to do nuclear civilian, is what they call it, capabilities, i.e. not do a bomb. But while they were negotiating, they killed the negotiating team. Israel killed the Iranian negotiating team while they were negotiating with America. And so for a lot of people, it seems like you're saying the Iranians are not serious about the negotiations. A lot of people say it's the other side that's not serious, because they have let the agencies in. They've done their done everything in terms of where the things are, and it's been accepted. And they've done all the concessions of, we'll give you more access. Yet all of that still resulted in the Israelis killing the negotiating team while they were negotiating with the Americans. So for I guess for the Iranian government, we don't trust the Americans or Israelis anymore. We're going to go to China. We're going to go to the BRICS nation and try to build our relationship there. But what you're saying also at the same time, which is also valid, I think, which is we don't trust the Iranians because we don't know what they're doing at the same time. Do you see both sides?
Yeah, sure. Islamic Republic, if we say, is better than Iranian and Iran. Islamic Republic.
That's your choice. I mean, they're still the Iranian government.
Thank you. Yeah. So yes, but on the side of the Iranian people, we see that why America do that and why Israel does that, because we know that they are liars and they lie on daily basis.
The problem is the Americans lie on a daily basis too, and the Israelis lie on a daily basis too. It's very hard to trust. Everyone lies, and that's the issue that we're having, is that we have parties from all sides that are liars, and so we don't know what's the reality. But what seems to be the reality is that the Iranians are trying to negotiate. They killed them, and then suddenly, while they're negotiating, they started a war. And then there's this kind of idea, and I think a lot of people believe that the Iranian government is weak, and it might be weak. But the thing is, we hear every year, they're on the last leg, they're on the last leg, they're on the last leg, and they start a 12-day war, which took the Iranians by surprise. They killed a lot of their leadership. They killed many different levels of leadership. And then suddenly America and Israel just stopped the war after 12 days, which makes you question, why would they stop the war after 12 days if the Iranian government is that weak? And it's very surprising. It kind of tells me we're not being told the truth about the government in terms of how weak or how strong. It seems like they're stronger than what the West is showing, because no way, if they're on their last leg, you'd stop a war after 12 days when you took them by surprise. That was the chance. That was the biggest chance of changing the regime, which is the intention of the Americans and the Israelis. Do you see it also the same way in terms of why did they stop after 12 days if that was their, if the government is weak?
Because the propaganda was propagated that people are now around the government, they're not on the street, and they didn't know that people of Iran wanted that or not. So I don't say that they care about what we think, but I think they have more respect about Iranian people. I don't know why, but uh, I see that because in Israel itself, there are many Iranians. In America, there are many Iranians. So they affect this decisions and everything. So maybe that we were like, why didn't they just finish the job? We know that, but we wondering that, but. Maybe they wanted to be more prepared and people be more prepared about the final step.
I think it was because Iran responded in a way that was unexpected to the Israelis. They have a capability that we were not aware of, and it just shows of the ability of the Iranians. Because after more than 40 years of sanctions, the country should be just like thick, and it falls because it's just so much hardship. But it shows that the Iranians are smart, they're capable, they're self-reliant, and they're strong people, and that's not I think the image that the West tries to portray, and I think that 12-day war, as unfortunate it was in terms of the killings that happened and everything, it kind of showed that. I want to talk about, what does freedom realistically look like for Iranians? Not in terms of just like slogans, but in kind of lived experience. What does that freedom look like?
The freedom will be, we have our basic human rights, like women rights, no executions anymore. The political Islam should be separated from the politics totally. The independent of the organizations like the judiciary, I don't know, the presidency and everything. We want our currency to take back its value because it's nearly zero and it's a catastrophic actually event. And we want our passports be seen like some humans, not like some terrorists that they are propagate around the world. So yeah, we want these are the basics that we want. We want the people come to our country because Iran is really beautiful from the north to the south, from the west to the east. It's very beautiful. It has everything. It has seas, it has islands, it has mountains, it has deserts, it has jungles, forests, lakes, everything that this regime actually destructed all of. So it's not just about the humans, it's about the environment. It's about the country, the culture, and the civilization as well.
Parisa, this has been very fascinating conversation. Is there something that you feel we didn't touch on that you want to touch on?
Please do things. Don't propagate, people of the world, please don't propagate the regime's narratives because it's very dangerous. We are not Mossad agents. There were millions of people on the street on 18 and 19 of January 2025. They were unarmed, and the government and the regime shoot them and killed them. And thousands of people are killed, and thousands of people are under arrest. If you amplify that narrative or that regime wants, they will kill all of them. So just be careful of what you say and listen to what people of Iran, inside and outside of people, are screaming, because people of outside Iran, they have families and friends inside, and they know what they think. And something else, that if you doubt about the Prince Reza Pahlavi, we are not going to bring back the monarchy. Maybe we do, but he's the leader of transition to transit the government, transit us, the people, to the polls and referendum, that we can choose what we want. And even if it's monarchy, we have many monarchies. The highest level countries in the world are monarchies, but they are democratic and they're constitutional, like Canada, Australia, Sweden, the Netherlands, Norway, and many bad countries are republic. So we can have the democratic monarchies as well. So just let people decide and help them to overthrow this regime. And we are not the people. We are civilized, and we wrote the human rights for the first time in the history. So we know how to continue living and continue a civilized country. Thank you.
Thanks, Parisa. I mean, I hope that Iran becomes a safer place with more rights as a strong country. I'm just worried about the plans that America has for Iran. That's kind of my worry. I think we're in agreement, and a lot of people are in agreement that we want people to live more freely in better situations in Iran. It's I just don't trust the Americans when it comes to the Middle East. I was reading a book about covert operations by the American government in a lot of places. So 44 of the 64 regime changes that America tried to implement were authoritarian regimes, which is insane, because we see America as the country that promotes democracy. But the issue inside of the US seems to be very different to outside of the US. And it's all about, does that regime, whether it's authoritarian or a democratic regime, align to our interests? And that's the end of it. But I hope, in Iran's situation, the future is different, where it's independent and strong. Parisa, thank you so much for having this conversation with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it, and I hope that we have a free Iran very soon, and have you in Iran very soon to show you our beautiful country. And thank you for being my people's voice. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.